Hello, my name is Emmanuel Morales, and today I will be pitching you Savina. A quick background on my game's story. Jose Morales was once a fierce sicario, or hitman, known across Mexico as the Reaper. His murdered family was the most important thing in his life, and was the mental support that provided him peace. Betrayed by his ex-employers in search for vengeance, he must fight his way across multiple cartel bosses and henchmen that were once his closest friends. It is set in the city of Cheran and the mountainland outskirts of modern-day state of Michoacan, Mexico, where crime, poverty, and corruption exist, where cartel leaders instill fear to civilians and townspeople to keep control of the land. Violence can be seen throughout the region in the forms of body bags on the side of the road, vehicles filled with bullet holes, hangings of individuals that disrespect the cartel member rule. The main antagonist is Jose Morales. He is knowledgeable, loyal, broken, determined, and a perfectionist. His main goal is to get revenge on the knights of the Zetas cartel that murdered his family in cold blood. The main antagonist, the head of the Zetas, Luis Ramirez, is the main antagonist that ordered the murder of Jose's family. Born into a crime family, he has no remorse for human life and despises disobedience of his orders. Some basic game mechanics. Mr. Morales will be able to craft items such as explosives, ammo, and gun parts from items scattered across the map. He will be able to upgrade his physique and training from a skill tree, and he will be able to get one upgrade point every time he levels up. To upgrade, he will need to get XP from doing missions and taking down enemies. Adding on, a normal life bar of 100 health will be the standard at the beginning of the game. It is possible to increase health by a small margin. However, limited resources of health and checkpoints will be integrated into the gameplay to encourage careful planning by the player to conserve health and resources. There will only be 2 lives given for the entirety of the game, which losing one will affect the route the game takes following your hospitalization. This is in doing so to make you feel more emotionally connected to the character. For the attended systems, it would be PC, Windows, and Xbox Series X and S. The demographics of targeted players would be 17 plus and would make the game ESBR rating rated for mature. My main pain point is race. In recent times, the topic of race has become a controversial subject to dwell in. However, I believe in games the subject of race needs to be implemented to shed the light on the misrepresentation of minority groups in video games. According to David Lenar, certain stereotypes and discourse about race can be more acceptable through a gaming media, allowing for greater acceptance and transparency. Games can offer players to view the perspective and representation of a minority individual in a struggling environment. During character customization, the player will decide between 2 races from Mr. Morales, which will determine differences in the gameplay. If the player decides to be white, better treatment from locals and less random conflict will happen. However, if the player decides to be native, more racial slurs will be directed towards your character. This will highlight the stereotype of Mexico's racist treatment towards native and darker individuals compared to lighter complected individuals, and possibly instill change in the old Senate mentality.